Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends 6-inch Spider-Man series Green Goblin figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Marvel Legends figures. You've got the black box. Up at the top you've got the Legends series logo. The figure's clearly displayed in the window box. Down below you have a Spider-Man logo and then the name of the character. On the sides of the packaging for this one we just have some artwork of Green Goblin, and then on the back of the packaging we have a look at the actual figure, a brief bio in multiple languages, and then down below a look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete the Sandman Build-A-Figure. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now real quick, let me just give a shout out to Juan for hooking me up with this figure, finding it out in the wild for me. I had not been able to track it down yet. He got it and sent it to me so I could go in and get it reviewed for you guys. So again, a big thanks to him. Now first of all, this figure comes with the 2 heads for the Sandman Build-A-Figure. The Build-A-Figure will have 2 alternate heads, and it both come with the Green Goblin figure. Now I'll be doing a review of the Sandman Build-A-Figure in its own video here shortly, so be sure to check back for that. For those of you who are wondering, the Sandman head will not work on the Green Goblin figure. It's too big. Definitely if they shrunk this down, it might make for a good Norman Osborn unmasked head, but as it is, this head is just too big. The figure comes with 1 pumpkin grenade, and the detailing on this is pretty good. You've got the kind of neon green color for the eyes, mouth, and the little fire on top of its head, and then an orange color, and definitely looks like a pumpkin. And you can either have him hold it by just setting the pumpkin in his hand and he holds it pretty good, or if you want it a little more secure, you can kind of put that flame between his fingers and he'll hold it much tighter that way. And then the final accessory this figure comes with is his Goblin Glider, and I like this one a lot better than the one we saw with the recently released Hobgoblin figure. It's much bigger, so I think it's better suited for the figure. There's not really any paint applications on it. It's just done with a gray plastic, but I like the sculpting of the little head on the front, and you got the little engine on the back. It would have been cool maybe if they'd given us a blast effect to go attached to the back of the engine, but as it is, I like the size of this glider. And the feet just go through the little clips on the glider, and you see it works well with this figure. It's a good size, and the figure will actually stay standing with the glider. So for the figure itself, this is a reuse of the Hobgoblin figure that was recently released, minus the little cape. Now the head sculpt is different, but the figure itself is all the same, just repainted. But that's okay because the Hobgoblin outfit is basically a modified goblin suit anyway. I really do like this head sculpt on this figure. I think they captured the likeness of the Green Goblin, his evil look, very nicely with this one. I like his eyes and how they look, and the teeth, and he's got the little hood with the little straps that come down. And then I like the sculpting of the ears, and then the back I think looks good as well. So I really like the head sculpt on this one. And then again, for the rest of the figure, everything is the same. He's got this little pouch, which again is the same as we saw with the Hobgoblin, only it's now purple. You've got the gold metallic on the belt, and down here on the belt on the pouch itself. And then he's got that metallic green for the skin color, the chainmail, and then the purple. He's got gold on the belt buckle. So even though it's a reuse of the Hobgoblin, I think it looks really good and works well with this figure. So this figure stands just under 6.5 inches tall. And here's a comparison with that Hobgoblin figure, and you can see these two are the same height. And here's a comparison with one of the older Toy Biz Green Goblin figures, and this was always my favorite version of the Green Goblin, but I actually think I like this Hasbro one better. And finally, here's a comparison with Hasbro's Spider-Man figure, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive / pizza-eating Spider-Man, and you can see that Green Goblin is a hair taller. Here's a comparison with the Gwen Stacy Spider-Gwen figure. For articulation, you can turn the head to the left and to the right. It's on a ball hinge joint, so he can look down good, and he can look up pretty good as well. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out about that much, and he's got good rotation there. He's got a bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much. He's got swivels at the wrist and hinges on the hand, so good up and down movement there. He's got a midsection joint, so he can crunch down about that much, and he can look back pretty good there at the midsection. He's got a waist swivel, legs are attached attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg forward good, and he can do his leg back about that much. He's got a thigh swivel, double hinged knee, so good bending at the knee. He's got a boot cuff swivel, and then hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement, and he does have ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So I like this figure. I think it's a great Green Goblin figure. I like the paint applications. I love the head sculpt on this one. The glider works well, and I think this is probably the best Green Goblin figure we've gotten from Marvel Legends. So this figure, along with the rest of the wave, is starting to hit shelves. You can find it at places like Toys R Us. Big Bag Toy Store should be getting it in very soon. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.